right, what can I get started for you?
Can I do a hot medium mocha with dark chocolate? Oh, it is way too early. And it's not, because normally I'd be up by now, but it still feels like it. Because this is earlier than anybody needs to be up on a Saturday. Unless you're racing RC cars.
Need a receipt?
Nah. Why does everybody still ask you if you want a receipt? As if I'm gonna return my coffee. Who even uses receipts anymore? Who's still writing checks out there? Can you guys stop? You're wasting so much receipt paper. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Travis RC. We're going back to the toy box today. Pretty excited that we're doing a Saturday program and not a Friday night again. We won't be there nearly as late. God forbid something happened to cause that. So I think last week was good. If you saw the last vlog, definitely learned a lot. Didn't quite get the podium result that I was hoping for, but that's okay. It's not always about results. It's about learning and growth, and then the results will come with that stuff, right? That's the hope. Now, if you remember from the last vlog also, we were still having some issues with the rear end getting upset when we were doing some flatlands, and I just want to be able to get back on the throttle as soon as my tires hit, or even a little before, potentially, to be able to help me go a little bit faster, and hopefully we can do that. And my game plan for this is to, I think before we even hit the track for practice this morning, we should have ample amount of time. Doors open at 9, racing starts at 11:30. I'm going to go ahead and take the rear shocks off the car right away, and I'm going to change out the 32.5 weight oil that's in the rear to 35. So then we're going to be running 35 up front, 35 in the rear, and hopefully that'll help us out. And it might make the car a little bit more stable and hopefully less likely to traction roll, potentially, because the rear end isn't going to be able to roll as much. So I don't know if it's really going to help our turning at all, but the main thing is just going to be to help us on those flatlands in those last 2 jumps before the straightaway, assuming this is the same layout, of course. And I got to get the racing action while I can, because there's going to be a few weeks coming up here where I will not be able to race. Let's see here. The last weekend of January, I'll be pit crewing for a monster truck team at the Milwaukee Monster Jam. The weekend after that, I'll be hanging out at the Minneapolis Monster Jam. That's the tour that I used to be on when I worked for that company, so it'll be really fun to hang out. And then the day after that, I am going to Cancun for work, which sounds crazy, but I guess it's just a thing that we do every year. So that'll be my first time attending that. But point being, I'm gonna get as much wheel time as I can wherever I can fit it in. And of course, the schedule's busy. I know it is for all of you as well, probably, but the main goal here is just growth and progression, right? And we've been doing a pretty good job of that, so we're gonna keep tracking ahead. And the question of the video here is, when you guys are on your way to the track, what are you listening to? Are you jamming out? What are your favorite bands you're listening to right now? How about podcasts even? I'm a big podcast guy too. Gonna get the blood pumping a little bit, listen to some music on the way here. We got about an hour left of the drive. Currently what I'm listening to the most is a mix of a few different bands. Bill Murray, who is a fantastic like pop punk with some country twang in there. A Day to Remember, always one of my favorite bands. Motionless in White, Beartooth. I'm sure there's more I'm forgetting. I also love podcasts too. I'm a big podcast guy, especially on longer drives. Comment below, let me know what you're blasting in the car on the way to the track. It's time for the caffeine check. As you already know, our tried and true morning brews from Caribou. Oh, that's good. Woo! All right, I'm officially energized for today. Let's get it. All right, we're here at Toy Box, and the track layout is mostly the same, minus they got rid of the tabletop that was right here last week at the end of the straightaway. Now they have a little bit of a bigger tabletop. I actually like this. I think this will be nice. I was considering going down to a 28 tooth pinion because of the tabletop being right here, but I'm going to leave the 29 since we have basically a full straightaway. So looks pretty good. All right, so before I get too far, 2 things I need to do. I'm going to put a new layer of glue on my front sidewalls. I'm just going to use these practice tires. These are going to be my race tires for today. And then we're taking the shocks off, like I said earlier, and we're going to take out the 32.5 weight oil, put in 35. I think that'll help us out. Let's get going. Somebody suggested using Gorilla Glue for this, just because it's a little bit easier to work with. And I have been liking that, so we'll get this going. I don't have any of the glue activator that will kind of dry this instantly and then let it dry clear. That is on my shopping list, along with a bunch of spare parts I need and don't have, so in due time. But when I do get those spare parts, of course we're going to fiercercsolutions.com. I mean, where else? All right, so we got 35 weight filled up about 3/4 of the way. Just bleed it out. No real air bubbles coming out, so that's cool. But I'll still leave them sit for a few minutes here just to make sure if there are any air bubbles that they come up. So other than the sidewall stuff, the shocks, we're looking good. The other thing is just checking ride height, checking camber, just make sure everything is square and even, and then we'll get some practice done. Top the shock off the rest of the way, put the cap on. Yeah, that's the thing right now, is like I'm changing where I'm starting to recognize. I also don't, like, it depends on what size that is too. Okay, spring goes back on, spring cup goes back on. Yes, sir.
If you need to do your shocks, then you can use mine.
Okay. I forgot to grab mine.
$11.7. 24.7. 16.9. Travis will 13.9. 11.5.
Whoop.
13.3. 13.3. 11.8. 11.7. 11.3. 13.3. 12.8. 11.8. 11.6. 11.7. 13.3.
These X-ray cars are like cheating.
13.2. 13.1. 13.7. 11.6.
Put some tires on it.
No, Rick, behind you.
29.3. 13.3.
All right, so changing out that rear shock fluid definitely helped a lot, especially on the far right-hand side off of that big single right before the straightaway. Rear end doesn't get upset almost at all. It still does a little bit after that big roller if you flat land in the middle, but not nearly as bad as it did. So that's helping a lot. So I think it changed some of the characteristics of my cornering just a little bit. So I'm just getting used to that. I feel like after the long tabletop, I'm not slowing down as much as I need to. But one thing I've needed to do for a long time is try to add more brake. So I'm going to plug the Bluetooth tuner into the Coyote ESC here and see if I can figure out how to add some brake and get some more practice with that.
Where? 26.3. 12.40. 12.6.
Thank you. Little kicker.
25.3. 13.40. 14.3. 34.5. 29 flat. 12.8. 11.8. 12.7. 11.3. 16.7. 12.3. 12.3. 16.2. 13.4. 12.7. 12.6. 16.7. 17.7. 11.3. 13.2. 11.5. 13.1. 17.1. 11.8. 21.1. 12.8. 11.5. 13.5. 13.3. 12.8. 11.3. 12.7. 14.5. 12.6. 29.7.
Oh.
16.7. 15.8.
Okay, so the car feels pretty good after that extra practice that we did. So we got 2 full packs of practice. I would have liked more, but we're trying to change stuff. We're trying to try stuff. Whatever. I did notice the extra braking that we added. I just need to make sure I adjust my timing to that. The rear shocks still feel awesome, so that's much gooder. I added a little punch on the ESC2, I think, and I say I think because I'm not sure exactly what every single little thing on the ESC settings are, but that's okay. Overall, felt good. So we are in the 3rd race. They're on the 1st one right now, and there was no intermediate and pro split today. We only have a total of, I think, 7 or 8 17.5 cars. So instead of splitting pro and intermediate, which I wish they would have kept because they could have, they put them all together. So I'm not trying to light the world on fire today or anything, but I'm going to use it as an opportunity to get more practice, try to see if I can follow a couple of the fast guys, nail some of their lines and techniques, and just try to pick up on a couple of the little things that they do. So So while I wish we had an intermediate, it's still a good opportunity for learning, and that is invaluable. So I'll take what I can get. So there's only 2 rounds and there's 5 classes running, so today's gonna go probably pretty quick, which is cool. I like that. So all is good on this front, and we'll just settle in and see how the first heat goes. Newest addition to this beat up beginner body here. Big shout out to Fierce RC. Go check out fiercercsolutions.com for all your RC racing needs, and great deals especially.
Where's your off-road stuff, Keith?
Still sitting somewhere, isn't it? Probably.
Great start, great start. Oh my, this is going really well. Hell yeah, already lapped.
Straight away, straight away, straight away.
After 44 minutes, left top drivers are Brian Braley, Travis Malone.
You're gonna see a lot of the results are not accurate on this layout.
Every minute lights. The top drivers are Travis Malone, Brian Braley. AC Noga done. Brandon Rivera done. All drivers are pitched. Ryan Braley done.
Oh, that's all right. I'll just leave it here. Thank you. All right, first round of qualifying, about as expected when you're mixed in with all the pro guys. We got third in our particular heat with 22 laps, which isn't bad. I personally could have done a little bit better just because of my tires. I put a different set of tires on that have less wear, and they have a lot more grip. So I was almost traction rolling a lot, and I just needed to be a lot more calm in the turns. So about halfway through the race, I finally figured that out. And then I feel like in that last half of the race was doing a little bit better. So now that we know that, I'm gonna hit the track for a little bit more practice here, and we're only 45 minutes from the start of the first round of heats, and they're already done. So today's gonna be a quick day, which is kind of nice, but so with all that being said, I'm gonna get back on the track for a little bit more practice before the second round. Oh, I hate myself.
4 minutes left. Three minutes left.
Wow. Holy moly, that was bad.
1 minute left. AC helmet done. Brandon Rehair done. Brian Brinkley done. All drivers are finished. Travis will have done.
Nice one, Travis.
I don't know about that.
Casey taking that one.
On one hand, it looks like the heat must be working some capacity, but on the other hand, there's smoke pouring into the building. So, that must mean that there's heat somewhere. Shout out to the people at the Toy Box for working hard to try to get the heat going. It's currently 48 degrees in here, but I think we'll be a little bit warmer in here before the main start. And to help us out, we also have some chicken and wild rice soup. So thank you, Jason and everybody at the Toy Box. Round 2 was a little bit better. Driving left to be desired. Third place in that one. We got 23 laps, so we were a lap up from round 1, which is nice. It doesn't necessarily get us very far because the fast guys in the class are at like 25, 26 laps. So they're insane. And the fastest lap time in that race from KC Belkey, who's a Team Associated guy who's super fast, his fastest lap time was a full second over my fastest lap time. So I'm not looking to get a podium today because I don't really have a shot at it, if I'm being realistic, unless everybody breaks, which fat chance. But just trying to take today as an opportunity to learn, try a couple new things on the car, see how I like them, make some notes, and overall, just enjoy this wonderful Saturday afternoon. So fun story here, looking at the main sheet. They're on race number 1 right now. We're race number 2, but they split up the one big pro class where all the 17.5s were in, and they took 3 of us and put us in our own 17.5 intermediate. So now that the mains are starting, there is an intermediate class, and we qualified first. So that's really cool. I mean, we got a podium at least, assuming we don't have any issues and can start the race, but can we get our first dub? I hope so. Even if there's only 3 cars, a win is a win, and I will be happy with my first win. It's been a good day, and it's warm enough in the building now, there's heat going. So that's a plus. A main time. So fun story, I accidentally just plugged the negative into the positive and the positive into the negative. There was a poof of smoke that I think came out of the fuzz buster, and I turned it on and it's still working. So hopefully we're good because it's time for the A main. Fingers crossed here. I just reversed polarity in my battery, so that's cool. But it works. We'll see what happens.
Transponder 3152762.
Let's see if this doesn't explode.
Less than 5.
Watch out, watch out.
Left. 3 minutes left. Minutes left.
Oh, sorry, Brandon.
Braley done. Brandon Regarrett done. All drivers are finished.
All right,
Travis Flow done.
on that last lap. Sorry, guys. That was technical difficulties. Good. I got Brandon, Travis, and Brian on that.
All right, super quick race recap. And I want to keep this really brief because I don't have too much that I want to share here. And there's something really important, really cool that I want to get to and talk about to close this video out. But as far as the race day goes, the big takeaway is that I'm getting a lot more comfortable in wanting to try different stuff with the car. I'm really hesitant about it at first, but now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, let's try this. Let's see what happens. Let's change it back. And of course, all of that depends on how much time do I have to do it. Is it before a race? Are we doing a practice day? Which I haven't done a full practice day with this car yet, but I really need to and try to make the time for that because that's going to, I think that's going to help me out a lot in figuring out the car and maybe figuring out what I need to do. So it was kind of goofy that we were kind of mixed in with all the pro guys in the heats, and then 3 of us were split off into intermediate for the A main, which I'm okay with. A podium's a podium. Doesn't matter how many people are there. Just didn't have to work as hard to necessarily get a podium spot. But you know what? I'll take it. It's my first second place finish, and I'll kind of look back on that kind of fondly just because of the funny circumstances, I guess, in how that day was organized. But the rear shocks, I'm way happier with that. Settling down a lot more off of those bigger landings, I guess. And I think I could honestly go up and weight a little bit. I'm very tempted to try out 37.5 in the front and rear. I know that there are some guys, obviously this depends on the pistons you're running, but I know there are a lot of guys that are running upwards of 40 weight oil. But it was a really nice day for learning and trying to grow. That's all we're trying to do here, is just trying to get better and trying to grow. So if you've been with me through that journey, I appreciate it, whether you're new here or not. So like I said, I wanted to keep the race recap pretty brief because I have something really cool that I want to talk to you guys about. Now, I'm a big fan of the Gens Ace products. Since I started looking into racing at all, I landed on these batteries. I started with them. I've been using them ever since in both the Techno e-Buggy and the Associated 10 scale. I love the D300 charger. It's a really, really good value. It offers a lot for its cost and its size. And the Gens Ace Redline 2.0 batteries have been awesome. They're high voltage. They offer a high discharge rate. They've been super smooth, consistent. Haven't had any issues with any of the cells. They've been fantastic so far. And since I already use and love these products, I was pretty excited when a gentleman reached out to me last week on my personal Facebook page. So a guy named Dale reached out and he said, hey, I'm the Gens Ace team manager. Wanted to see if you'd be interested in a sponsorship opportunity with Gens Ace. Now, of course, I was excited, but I tried not to get too excited about this because obviously I needed to know kind of what the terms are. That's kind of a whole new realm of RC racing things that I haven't dove into or had any experience with. Obviously, I know people that have sponsorship deals, so you know, kind of talk to them a little bit, see what's normal, what's a good deal for them, and all that jazz. Talk to my wife because she's in this just as much as I am. But after getting all the details from Dale on what their expectations are and kind of what I'm looking for, we landed on something here. And right here in front of me, I have a 2026 Team Gens Ace driver contract that I have yet to sign. So what I want to do is sign it right here on this video with you guys. All right, guys, we got pen on paper. I have officially signed my first ever sponsorship contract in RC racing, and I'm very proud and humbled and honored that it can be with a great company that I already use, being Gens Ace. And I want to make it very clear, I'm not here to be a discount chaser or anything like that. Yes, I'll be getting a discount on Gens Ace products, but I only want to do sponsorships and partnerships with people in the industry that want to do cool shit, because I also want to do cool shit. And I look at these opportunities as partnerships more so than me trying to get something out of it. And Dale seems like a great guy, and I'm just really excited to be able to represent Gens Ace because I believe in them, and I'm just very grateful that Jens Ace also believes in Travis and Travis RC. So big thank you to Dale, big thank you to Jens Ace, and most importantly, a big thank you to all of you, because without you guys stumbling across this channel, clicking on a video I posted in a Facebook group, anything like that, this wouldn't be possible. Clearly they see a value in my race program, but also my YouTube channel, and that is just something honestly really special. And I just want it to be known that this means a lot to me, and you guys mean a lot to me. So a big thank you to all of you guys, genuinely my subscribers, that made signing my first ever RC sponsorship contract possible. It's just, honestly, it's crazy. I would have never thought when I started racing at the end of last summer that I'd have this in front of me. So thank you guys for checking out Travis RC. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, but most importantly, subscribe, because we got some cool things coming, like this sponsorship deal that's going to help us out quite a bit, and some other cool things in the works as well. Also, don't forget to like the Facebook page, Travis RC. I got a link for it in the description below. So if you guys would excuse me, I have a contract to email off. Wow. We'll see you in the next one.